Hello. This video is all about vocal cords and breath. What your vocal cords do when you're breathing, when you're holding your breath, when you're making like shh or sounds. It's all about breath. So right now, I'm just breathing normally. I'm just breathing in and out. I'm going to make some sounds, and just know that anytime you start having pitch, even if it's like a breathy sound like a ha, that means that your vocal cords are starting to close. Now, they may not be touching and they may not even seem close, but if you're getting pitch when you're breathing, your vocal cords are starting to close. So now I'm going to make a sound, which is a very tight throat, tight vocal cord sound, and this is what it looks like. So the next sound I'm going to make is an S sound. So an S sound is like a very small stream of air. S's are really great for controlling your airflow and trying to maintain a consistent airflow. And you can see in the vocal cords, I'm not letting a ton of air in. I have most of my vocal cords closed. This next video is just me closing the vocal cords and opening, closing the vocal cords and opening without breathing or without making any sound. This I've always been able to feel. Like I can feel when I'm closing my vocal cords and when they're open. If you've never tried to feel your vocal cords close and open, it's worth paying attention to, because depending on how you breathe and depending on how you start the air when you're singing, this really makes a difference. And if you're able to start the air without the vocal cords closed, with the vocal cords open, usually it's a more consistent sound. So there's this technique called circular breathing, and it basically says when you're about to sing, you take a breath, and as soon as you're done inhaling, your body wants to exhale that breath and you start singing. So there's no moment where the vocal cords are closed like I just showed you, where they're sort of like scrunched up. This is what it looks like when you take a breath, you hold the breath, then you start singing. It's not like I never do it, but in general, this technique usually makes it harder. You end up starting notes with tension, which isn't usually a good thing. And the air, because it's been building up underneath the vocal cords, it's kind of sometimes spurts out. You have to really control air once it's already building pressure underneath your vocal cords. This is also how you sing a glottal. So if you're starting with a vowel like A or like ah, a lot of times that little like edge that choir directors or vocal producers want on the front, that's the vocal cords closing and then you sending air through your vocal cords to create this sort of burst of sound. If you've ever had somebody tell you to put a little H on the front of a vowel or like enter it in softly, usually it's to avoid this glottal or aggressive attack. These next few are where I take a breath and then I start singing and use the circular breathing. And you can hear it's a softer start than when I close the vocal cords, then send air through. And then the last little video is me just doing lip trills. So, and the thing about lip trills, you can make them really breathy and you can make them more pitched. So I did both. So the more pitched ones, sound like that. The breathier ones sound like, and usually when I'm doing exercises, I want the more pitched one, but this just shows you what they look like. All right, that's all for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it helped. Thank you for watching.